check out the sale on hofirugs.com. Hello and welcome to Resin Crafting with Chris Collected. On today's episode, we're going to be using Desert Rain high performance clear epoxy resin. This is a 1-to-1 solution and some new molds I got from the Nightmare Before Christmas. We got Jack and Sally on one and we got Oogie Boogie on the other. Next up is a dice mold. So you can see 6-sided dice, 5-sided dice, 20-sided dice. This would be able to play like a Dungeons and Dragons or any kind of TTRPG. I also, if you saw a recent unboxing live, I got a ton of these clay pieces and some new mica powder. So this is going to be mostly white or like pearlescent, but then in the light, you could see a color. Next up, I can't do a project without a little bit of glitter. Let's get a little close-up of that glitter. So it's mostly like a clear plastic with a little bit of color to it. I figured it would mix well with the pearlescent color. These are also some new measuring cups that I got. Recently, I had a problem where I didn't have measuring cups that were big enough. Well, I solved that problem. I got lots of big ones now. Okay, so first we're going to pour the hardener in. It has yellowed on me a little bit, but I think the finished result didn't look yellow at all, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. I'm still very new to resin. If you know, put it in the comments below. Maybe I'm storing it incorrectly or something. I'm not really quite sure. Next up, we're going to put the epoxy resin in. The first one we did to 200 milliliters. The next one we're going to do up to the 400 milliliters because it's a 1-to-1 solution. Okay, now let's get that mixed up. I'm still using the Let's Resin epoxy resin mixer. I've gotten really good at it. At first, I didn't know if it was going to be like the best product for me, and they have a new one that's an automated one, so I think I know what my Christmas present this year is going to be for sure. But for now, this hand mixer is working really well. Sometimes I'm a little impatient and I move it probably more than I should, but hey, that's what we are here. We are the house of improvements, not the house of perfect. And we're going to learn that patience, and we're going to be the best that we can, always, right? Well, yeah. So we're going to mix this up. It takes about 3-4 minutes in real time, so I speed it up to 3 times that normal speed and only do it in about a minute. Alright, now that it's all mixed up, I'm going to pour it into several different containers because I want a few different colors and different variations. Make sure to check out hofirugs.com and use code FREESHIP for a free gift and free shipping on all orders. Alright, let's continue to mix up all of our epoxy resin with all of our new little powders that we got. And then we can go ahead and pour them into the Jack and Sally and the Oogie Boogie molds. See, doesn't that look awesome? And then once it dries, you can see the color, but like only in the light. Otherwise, it kind of just looks clear or frosted, which is really cool. As you can see, it's all about nice clean technique. A simple pour, you don't need to really move it around or anything like that. Next up, we have the Jack and Sally. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video and you can see the unmolding. Okay, next up we're going to pour into this blue cup. I'm basically going to pour half of what I have left into this. These are the first times using any of these molds, and so I poured way more than I needed. But of course, you know I love doing that. I think we all know what's going to happen at the end of this video if I have extra resin. It's time for more tic-tac-toe molds. But alright, so we put a bit of the other coloration in there. One was like kind of a pink in pearlescent, and the other one's kind of a blue in pearlescent. I also put a bunch of the Christmas time clay pieces and little sprinkles and things in there. However, not thinking it through, the dice do not have any of those clay pieces in it. It all just sinks to the bottom of this container. The container was way too big for what I need. I've seen a lot of other people that use the really small ones, and so I think in the future I'm going to be doing that and use some smaller containers, because these cups are just so big, everything sinks to the bottom. But don't worry, the tic-tac-toe mold will have plenty of it. Alright, let's pop little bubbles that I can and get to pouring. Watching it slowly pour out of the cup has become my favorite part of this art form. What I loved about this dice mold is that all the numbers on it are very big, making it easy to read. I'm so excited for this mold. I'll definitely be making a ton of dice in the future. And I love playing D&D and TTRPGs, which stands for Tabletop Role-Playing Game. And you can use dice like this and all kinds of other dice too to play out, little stories in your imagination and around the table with other friends. Whether it's solo or with a dozen people, you can have a lot of fun with D&D and TTRPGs. Alright, next up, anytime I have extra resin, I use the Let's Resin large tic-tac-toe mold, which comes with 2 X's, 2 O's, and a very large tic-tac-toe board. And so I'm going to make a Christmas time board. If you see me at a market event in the near future, you can actually play this against me. If you win, you get a free sample of the products that I make. If you lose, then you get stickers that I make. So it's a win-win either way. As you can see, I have changed up the camera angles a little bit. Over the next several videos, I will be improving, like the namesake, right? I will be improving my channel, making some big changes to it next year, and so I'm kind of slowly making those changes over the next month. Next year, I will be doing a little bit less of the unboxing life, but even more of resin crafting. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those amazing things that you guys can do to help support me. And if you want, I even make customs commissions. Go to hofirugs.com. I have a sale going on right now. Free shipping on all products. And free gifts too. This thing turned out amazing. I cannot wait to use it. Check out next week's video and we'll make a bunch of the X's and O's that will go along with it. Let's get all the rest of that resin out and finish it up. Alright, so now I'm going to throw a bunch of the clay pieces just in, because as I said before, they're just kind of going to sink to the bottom, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to throw them right in there. And then, obviously, it's a project by Chris Collected, you know it's going to have glitter in it. So I just dumped it all in. Next up, let's put a bit more of that mica powder into it so that it matches, because I didn't want it to be clear, I want all of it to be this pearlescent. So let's get that stirred up for the final time. And get all the pieces that are in the bottom and a few more that I just kind of threw in there. So I have all kinds of little clay pieces in this one. we are going for a classic center pour here. As we're not really worried about the colors changing or anything like that, we'll just pour it all in the center. Alright, let's get this finished up for today. So, my name is chriscollected. I am a queer, subversive artist specializing in digital and physical media. I make 3 different art forms. I do resin crafting, rug tufting, and sewing. So make sure to check out all my amazing content. Last thing we're going to do here is put the lid onto the dice mold. That way the top of the dice will have numbers, otherwise it will not have a number on the top. And then we're just gonna, play with the resin. I do love just swirling it around. It's gonna just be absolutely full of little clay pieces, and of course they all sink to the bottom, which this is the upside down of the mold, so really it sinks to the top. Which is a funny sentence, right? It's like it all sinks to the top. But it is true. That's how it works. I think that's what makes resin popular as it is all these molds are upside down, so at the end of the day, everything sinks to the top. So one last little fire to burst all those little bubbles. And make sure to stick around, and we're going to go ahead and do something extra special today. I'm going to show you this entire tic-tac-toe mold, but only in 60 seconds. So make sure to follow me, hofirugs, the House of Improvements, on all social media. And let's see this tic-tac-toe in 1 minute. And then afterwards, we will be unboxing. Now for the unboxing images. Remember to use free ship on hofirugs.com to get all the amazing products that I get with free shipping and a free gift. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.